Okay, so I've got the levels there established well enough in Revit for the time being, and because of the way they're set up, if I need to make some minor adjustments, that'll be okay as well, because my objects are tied to them. So in other words, if I move this lower ground floor level, my floor there should go with it. And that's a good thing. Also, if I move my roof level, again, the roof that I'm about to make will move with that roof level. And that's the way you want to be thinking about things initially, getting it set up to be easy to work with for you later on. So now I want to get a better view of the roof, and so for that I'm going to get a satellite view, and yeah, let's go straight to 6 Maps. If you'll probably know Google Maps, and in this case Google Maps probably is not the best anyway, so you could of course use Google Maps and find it this way, but I'm going to again use 6 Maps. So we'll go back to Google and just type in 6 SIX Maps, and that will take us to the New South Wales Government mapping site, which is obviously called 6 Maps. And so I've closed the search dialog box because I often don't use it, but here I will actually go up into that search dialog box there again and type in, well, what do we know, Mudgee Library. Should be enough. Sometimes it likes the full address, but it can sometimes find things. No, not in this case. So you can see there, I can't type. Let's try that again. Mudgee Library again. There we go. Okay, so it has actually found it just with that, which is great. There we are. So if you like, you can always select the result there, and it will sometimes give you extra things like the property boundary. In this case, though, it's just giving us a location, so not much there. So I'll close this. Actually, it's not that useful, but we can obviously see the building there, which is mainly what we need. So I'm just trying to zoom there to get a good view of it while still seeing the whole property. And so there are a few ways you can capture this. You can use, of course, the old print screen. Snipping tool works, of course, which I'm sure you all know about. And if you don't, go to the Start menu and just type SNIP, and you find the snipping tool, which is actually pretty good. So maybe I'll show you that. So here we'll just click on the New option and make a window around the area that I want. It's a nice easy way of saving an image from the screen. So I'll just go and save that as a new file, and maybe I'll save that so you can all get to it. Oh, in 6 Maps. Oh, click on the Start button and then just start typing. Yeah. So I should have said that. So again, here I'm just going to save this as what it is, Mudgee Library Satellite 1. So that's a good option. You can also save PDFs directly from the from 6 Maps. So I'll click the preview button there, and there we are. So that's again giving us a PDF, which I might just change the zoom on a little bit. And again, there, top left corner, you've got the Generate PDF option, which will save a PDF file. And it'll get blocked sometimes, so down the bottom you can always change the options there to, I would just choose Always Allow, and then you might need to choose it again, but I'll do that. So here again, print PDF. I'm not going to put any options in here, I'm just going to click Preview, and then there we are. I'll just reposition that and get the view I want. So again, Generate PDF. and this time it shouldn't be blocked, and there we are. So I've got a PDF file. So if you want to click on the disk icon there to save that. Let's call this Mudgee Library Satellite 2. Oh, hi. Yes, of course. So, I don't need that PDF, I just want to show you how to make it. Now, I'm going to, again, insert that and try and get that into a more usable state, maybe in AutoCAD. So, just like before, on the Insert tab in AutoCAD, I'll click on Attach and choose the image I've just saved. Again, I might just set the scale there to 1000. Usually bigger is better to start with. Click OK, and there we are. So you can see it's put it in. I'm going to simply select that now and use the Move tool to bring that away from my original image. So if you want to, you can scale that later to make it the correct size. It's actually pretty close at the moment as it is. You can see there, this is the length of the building, it's not far off. But again, I'll worry about getting the size accurate later on. Here I just want to look at the roof plan, so you can see it is a slightly fiddly roof. It's not really typical because we've got these valleys in the middle, which is generally a no-no, something you want to avoid normally because it creates potential for leakage. If you've got these valley gutters, if they fail, the building fills up with water. If the gutters on the side fail, which is more typical, these gutters running around the edge of the building, they can fail, and the worst thing that's going to happen is that the gutters will overflow outside the building. And that's why normally valley gutters are something you're trying to avoid. But again, you will find sometimes like we do here. So here again at the rear, you've got a different sort of roof. So I think the drawings that you've got are not really going to help you hugely for working out the roof in that rear area because you have, again, well, this wasn't built by the look of it, or was built and then demolished, I suppose, and you don't have this roof anymore. It's just got a flat roof, but this roof looks like it's been extended out to this area. So we need to know that. We need to know roughly the area of that roof, but also we need to know the pitch, and that's where this drawing again is going to help us. So looking at the front here, I'm just going to take some measurements and try and work out that angle. So using the measure tool, I'm going to measure again along the angle of that roof. I've turned ortho off, and I'm simply going to try to measure along that line. So you can see there the angle is 57 degrees. That might be pretty close. Find out in a moment. So I'll measure the other end. So again, from the bottom of the roof line there, up again to the ridge, and the angle is 124. So what would that be if we were measuring the same direction as the first angle? Do you know how to convert this to the normal way of measuring the pitch? Problem here is that I'm measuring to the left and not to the right. So the way you need to be thinking about it is that this angle, well, the angle we want is from this line here, the top of the gutter, measuring backwards to this line, which is the edge of the roof. So if you remember that line there from this point, going to the left, that would be 180 degrees, and then we're coming back. So it's 180 degrees minus 124. So again, if you can do that in your head, that's 56 degrees. And what was the first one? 57. Okay, so basically the same. So it might be in between. We could say 56.5. But I think we'll say 57 is close enough. But I'm going to measure this one too. This one might give us an even better idea. So here, just measuring that angle. And what's it telling me? 51. Okay, so there's a bit of a range there. So that tells us they probably wanted all of these to be the same. But again, hand drawing, like I've been saying, is very inaccurate, no matter what. So in between would be roughly 55 degrees. Maybe that's a better figure. So I'm going to go and measure another angle. Again, just trying to work all of this out. So here, coming back to the left, what's this one going to be? 131 degrees. So again, 180 minus 131 is 50, 49, so 50 degrees roughly. So again, I think they probably meant them all to be the same, but angles often will be inaccurate when you're doing them with a protractor. And so this one, 131 again. So we could go with 50 or 55 degrees. I think both would work. But I think 55 is probably better, considering that's what is closer on the original part of the building. So how do we get that to, well, how do we model something like that back in Revit now? So again, maybe just quickly looking at the satellite image again to get a good idea of those overall roof shapes I'm trying to make. You can see that we've got, really this part here is one roof, and then it comes around the front and then back down the side. So that can be one roof, and then this part here is probably easiest to make as a separate roof. I'll show you how to join them together afterwards. So, so then back in Revit again. So we should now know almost everything that we need to know, except that also it's worth looking at where the edge of the roof is. I'd say this drawing again is not perfect, but we can still get a lot of useful information there. We can see that the gutters essentially sit on the edge of the building. There aren't really any eaves to speak of, so again we'll see that maybe in this elevation. There are some eaves, so maybe actually it's worth double checking on the photos to see what's really happening. This one's not the highest resolution. Here we go, this one's better. Yeah, so they do have some projection, but not much of an eave really to speak of. So I think we can safely say, or safely model, and, oh no, sorry, having said that, now I can see some eaves there. It's always worth checking. Yep. And so putting the eaves in is actually going to help you because it will allow room for things like the downpipes, which you should model in later. So there, yeah, so definitely some eaves. Because they're not shown very clearly on our drawings though, we need to guesstimate those. Maybe I'll take a measurement just to see what was drawn. Yep, 350. Okay, so that's what I'll use. So with something like this, you just need to decide on the measurement and stick with it. Okay, so now I can start modelling the roof. Okay, so I'm going to go to the roof floor plan. And you can see there, I can see on my reference planes, but what's happened to the walls? Do you know why the walls aren't showing? Exactly, that's right, they stop below this level. So if you look at your elevation or your section, you'll see that the walls go up to the roof level exactly and stop there. So they won't be seen in that roof floor plan by default, but a simple option you can change in your view properties over here is underlay. You can scroll down there and find the underlay area and change the range there to any level really, but I'll just choose level 1, which is the level below. And now I can see those walls in grey, which will help a lot now to make the roof shapes. You should still be able to see the walls when you change the underlay. Yeah, that's all you need. Yep. Yep. If you don't have reference planes, it just means that the reference planes don't extend up through that level. We can stretch them up later as well. With the underlay on level 1, if you can't see them with that, then you need to check your wall heights. I'm in the roof. Yep. 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 That's okay, you can fix them afterwards, that's fine. So now I'm going to start with the roof tool, and a few options here. So if you go to the down arrow, you can choose roof by footprint, but clicking where it says roof will do the same thing. Okay, so it's important to realise here that you've got the pick wall options chosen by default, and then you can put in an overhang value, so that, remember, is 350, and then in your, again on the options bar there, make sure define slope is ticked, and then you should be able to pick those walls even though they're greyed out. It'll let you pick, and here you can see I'm making sure that the eaves go outside the building, so that's above this line. Now we know, having looked at the elevations, that the roof probably extends to this wall. Also, not looking at the elevations, looking at the satellite view, the roof line probably extends to this wall now, the way they've changed it. But originally, I think it did finish here, so I'm just going to do it to there for now. It's easy to extend it to the next wall if we need to later. But again, it just makes it a bit easier if I do it to here for now. I'm leaving the slope as well on 30 degrees. I'll change those all as a group afterwards. So I'll again choose the bottom edge now, and then before I choose the front, we need to make a few adjustments there. And actually it's a bit of a tricky one because, again, you've got the parapet there coming across. Yeah, this is going to get pretty fiddly. Yeah, well, I think steps must have a cutout section, but it comes back. Oh no, see here you've got the eaves. So, okay, let's look at the roof plan again. It's a bit of a tricky one. Yeah, that's right, it is another roof there, you're right. And they've been sneaky there, so that pitch changes. So this one's different again. So we can't actually do that one together either. Sorry? Well, yeah, okay, so maybe we'll do a simplified version for now, and then we'll change it. I'll show you can change it. It's actually not that hard, and it's good to see because you'll need to do something in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's always hard. When you have, it's a bit of a thing, something you should try to avoid is a roof like this. So the way they've done it, I mean, they've had to do it like this because they're adding to and modifying an existing roof. And you find this is mostly the case when you have existing buildings that you need to add to. That's where you find different roof pitches blending together. And again, something you try to avoid normally. Can you tell how I know that there are different roof pitches there apart from the shadows? There's a real telltale sign. It's here. See how this is not 45 degrees. That's 45, that's 45, that's 45. This isn't either. So these are different roof pitches. Yeah. So, look, I think we'll do it in the simple way first, but it could be worth putting that in because there's a reason they've done this. It's so they can add to an existing roof, but also I'd say there's probably roof lights in there, skylights, right? Which is a nice feature that you might want exposed in your interiors. So, again, I'll show you how to do that later. So for now, though, we'll do it with an equal pitch, and then we'll again modify it. Yep. So again, looking at this edge here, notice how that doesn't follow the outside wall. There's a parapet there where it's cut back in. So for now, we'll leave it like this, and then I'm going to use pick lines to put this edge in here. Now, so again, I'll go again with pick lines and pick the edge behind the parapet, behind this wall. So that's going to give us a simple setup. And then, again, we've got the edges here and here, whoops, which, if I look at the floor plan there, you can see don't really follow any internal walls, which is actually a good thing. Makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, the convent doesn't follow that part?
Well, oh yes, well they are here, so yeah, you're right. So, yeah, okay, that makes it a bit harder. So, look at, you'll need to adjust it later, so for now, just to give you the idea, we'll do it without those. So, I'm going to draw in a line. Actually, I will take a measurement off there and just give you that. So, off this floor plan then, I'm just going to take a measurement from the edge of my roof to the centre line of the columns. Yep, that's perfect. Yep, 3400. And so, back in the roof plan, I'm going to draw a new line, just using the line tool here, not pick lines or anything else, just drawing lines, just roughly in position. And then I can select that line and adjust the dimension so it measures to the edge of my roof. And then type in 3400. So now I want to mirror that to the other side, so I'm going to use mirror draw axis and find the midpoint of my wall and then come across to make that a straight horizontal line, and I'll get a mirrored copy above. You can always check that measurement as well if you want to double check. It doesn't hurt to drag that dimension there, and you can make sure it's 3400 on the top as well. So then we've got the front, which again could be measured from AutoCAD, but to make it join nicely with the sides, I'm simply going to use the same distance from the front. So again, by drawing a line here that's parallel to the front, now I can cancel drawing and then come back and select that line and use the dimension there to make that also 3400. Yep. So now that I've done all of that, I'll just split with split element the edge at the back. It's really important that you split it rather than trying to make a new line. So it's using the split element to break that line into two pieces. Yep, just in the middle roughly. So with that break, now I can use trim to corner to join these together and all of the others. I've got there a big U-shaped plan, which we know we'll need to change, but it's pretty close. And then in properties, with nothing selected, I'm going to then scroll down and find the slope value and change that to, what do we say, 55? And now you'll see when I select any of these lines, it should show me that that is now the pitch for all of those edges. They're all 55 now. So that's the basic plan. So I'm going to finish that now. Click to finish. Have a look in 3D, and you can see there we've got a basic roof form. But we've got some problems. notice how the ridge at the front isn't joining correctly to the ridge at the sides. And that's all to do with the way that the edges have been made, and it's really to do with whether you use pick lines or pick walls. They work a bit differently. And there is a reason for that. It's a good reason. So I'm going to make a new section just to show you this. So you just need to understand. So we don't need to, no, you don't need to make the section. No, you just need to see it. So I'm going to make a new section though in the ground floor plan, going the other way to my existing section. So it's a vertical section. So I'm going to open that now, and then you can see that my eaves there on the outside, where they've been made with pick walls, again come down with the pitching point, or the part of the roof that sits on the wall, setting the height. So in other words, the height of the roof is measured there, so by setting that roof level as the roof height, it sets that point there of the roof as the base, and then it projects the eaves down to arrive at the bottom of the fascia, or the bottom of the eaves really. Now I know it looks very thick, but I'm going to change the roof type there while I'm at it to just a generic 125 for now. Should be okay. Can make it a bit thicker later, but it wouldn't need to be a very thick roof structure there. So that's actually correct, because you want to measure usually to the top of the wall, not to the bottom of your eaves. Okay, so the problem though is that these points here are all now too high, especially on the front of the building. So again, how do we fix that? So I'll do it all in 3D view. So I'm going to, with the roof selected, go to Edit Footprint, and then you can see with the line selected. So I'm going to select that inner line there, and then you've got this Align Eaves option. Align Eaves. So you need to have the line selected, and then oh no, sorry, you don't need, actually, sorry, you don't need to have anything selected. So you can click Align Eaves first, and then you choose the line that you want to move, and then oh, sorry, the other way around, sorry. So again, Align Eaves, I'll do that again. So you select the eave you want to align with. So that's actually the outside first, and then the eave to be aligned. Okay, so I'll do that again. So here again, this is the one that's right. And then I'll choose this one at the front. Should have changed that, so I'll just try that again. Again, Align Eaves. I'll choose this one, and now this one at the front. There we go. So now see how this one was minus 500, now this one's changed to match it. So it's minus 500 is what it should end up being. So I'll do this one again. So again with Align Eaves, so I'll choose this one first, and then this one at the back. Now it goes down to match it. You can, so you can just choose one, and then you can go and choose all that you want to change, and they could. Yeah. Yeah. So well, when you that means your pitch is probably lower than mine, but if you change it to 55, then that should change. Yeah. So so they're all done now. So I'll click tick to finish. And now you can see my ridges all line up, which is the purpose of all of that. Yeah, so the ridge, the top of the roof, is all connected now. Oh, I'll come have a look in a second, that's fine. So you can fix that. So now the last part is to put in the central roof, the inner part. So I'll do that back in the roof floor plan. And again, just with the roof tool. And then in this case, I'll just use pick lines. And the pitch will come up automatically. So I'll again just pick the edge of my roof there, and I'll leave it on 30 actually, and we'll change the pitch afterwards. So I'm just going to pick all of the inner edges of this roof shape. And then to get the rear, again, I need to use pick walls. I'll leave the overhang on 350 and pick the outside edge there. Again, trim all those lines together. And then, again, in properties, I will change the slope to 55. I'm going to fix this edge now. I'm going to select that. That one, believe it or not, doesn't need to have a slope at all. If that isn't obvious, it'll be more clear in a moment. So I'll simply just, with that selected, turn off Define Slope. And then, again, I can finish this roof. You'll see in 3D that the ridges won't line up. I know that because, well, okay, I've got a few issues there. This is showing us that the drawings must be quite wrong. So this is correct. This is how the roof would be if it was 55 degrees. Again, the ridge has some problems because of the different, well, not the ridge, it's clearer here. You can see here, this is where the eaves are a problem. So I'll select the roof and change it to generic 125. Which makes it a little bit better. It lines up. Oh yeah, at the bottom, or yeah, yeah, that lines up. And see how here it comes up. Oh, okay. So yeah, that could be the way the edge is made. But yeah, so I'm going to fix this. So with mine, I've got to go to Edit Footprint to 55. So I can fix these eaves, but actually what I'm going to do first is try and fix the slope. Now, really here we've got to make the slope whatever it has to be to get the same ridge height. And so this is a bit of maths involved here to do it properly. Well, actually, now I look at this, it probably is a bit higher than these anyway. Yeah, it could easily be higher because it does connect to the that parapet and the whatever you've got there on the facade. So the slope is definitely less than 55, but it may not be enough to take it all the way down here, which is okay. So that makes it a bit easier. So I'm going to go in there and just change the slope with the roof selected and see if I try some different values, what it takes it down to. There we go, 35. That looks pretty good to me. Oh, okay, I'll have a look. Yep. So, okay, so you can see there that the roof now, with a bit of parapet work, will connect to something here and be concealed. But maybe it's worth trying to get it a little bit lower, so I'll try 32. That's still too high. So 30. That's not too bad.
How much is the one on the side?
55. For the but yeah, these two, they're both 55. All of this.
55.
Yeah. So this here, 30. Still a little bit higher, but I think I can live with that. So I'll leave it at that. And you want to do that first before you try adjusting the eaves, because the eave height, again, is dependent on the slope. Or the eave, yeah, that's right, the eave level, the eave height. So now if I go to Edit Footprint, and then use that Align Eaves tool, you can see there it's -202 that I'm trying to match. So here I choose that line first, and then one of the sides, this one, then one of the sides. So that's enough, tick to finish, and now you can see that the sides, well I missed this one. This one, you can see the sides now joining a bit better. But again, I must have missed this one, so I'll do align eaves again, and there it is. So that's still 0. So I'll choose this one, and now that again. There we go. Click to finish, and there we are. So now that side's joining properly as well. So we've still got a problem though, because this height is now above this roof, if that makes sense. So there are a few ways of adjusting that, but what I might do is go back into the plan and make yet another section. Oops, sorry, going from bottom to top, so it looks towards the roof. Now I can open that section view and simply go in and select that that roof and use the move tool to bring it down to the top of the other roof.
So why when did it go up? Because of the slope?
Yep, yep. Yeah, it's a different slope. Yeah, so that's what I'll do now. That's right. So once I've got that, I can drag this, and it works fairly well. It will tell you then the new pitch. So now it's telling us, well, the slope actually varies now, but that's okay. We don't really need it to be an even value. And again, the main thing is in the 3D view, we've got those roofs connecting with each other fairly well. The fact that the wall sticks through there isn't really a problem, because I can use attach top base and join it to each of those different roofs to bring that down. And then over here, you've got a gap between the roof, the two roof shapes. So a handy option there, when you select this roof, you've got the sorry, so actually you don't need to select it. So you've got the roof connecting tool, which is it's not there anymore. So I always have to look for this now. It is on the Modify tab, I think, and it is, where have I put it now? So I haven't used this for a while. There we go. Join unjoin roof. So you just need to go to the Modify tab. There we are. Join unjoin roof. And then I'll choose the edge of this roof here that I want to join, and then the roof that I want to join it to. There we are. And that projects it across. I started with 30, but then I just stretched it in the section to match. Yeah, I'll tell you what, my pitch ended up being 32.1. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, that can be a bit fiddly. So, so there you go. So that's probably an okay starting point. It may need to change again later, but for now, at least we've got the building, the front part enclosed, and it'd be fairly easy if we need to extend these roof shapes back as well. Oh, right, okay, yeah. So it's a bit weird in that satellite, yeah. Right, okay, yeah, all right. Oh, okay, yeah, so it just stops there and then... Yeah, that old building. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there's a center picture.
I think it must be, yeah.
Yeah, it's fronted for its renovation.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, still, that'll give us enough to get started. So, so then the roof on the side over here, you can just do separately. That should be much easier. And then if it's a flat roof again, that should be easier still. But I know this can be a bit tricky, but it'll be good practice working with those different options for setting the roof height and understanding the eaves a bit more. So I'll give you some time to try that and have a look at any issues you've got. That'll be, I think, plenty for today, but we'll do ceilings next time, I think. It'll take you a while to get the roofs on, so that's good.